Welcome back, dear viewers, and I'm now pleased to be joined by our distinguished guest, Dr. Qusaie Karam, who is a research scientist who has a PhD in marine ecotoxicology. Good evening and welcome to Hala, Kuwait.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me here, and I appreciate your time.
Yes, now, Doctor, let's start with the first topic, which is about marine animals named after the state of Kuwait. Can you tell us more about that, sir?
That's good. Actually, not too many people knows that animals were named after Kuwait. In terms of the scientific taxonomy, this is how they name the marine organisms. Either they name them with the English name, just like a lionfish or cuttlefish. They have a scientific name, which is the Latin name. It has the genus and the species. So there's a couple of animals, we're going to mention two here. The Elliptochrysis kuwaitinus is a type of a crab. It's a crab we can find at the Kuwaiti shores. The scientist who discovered this animal decided to name it after Kuwait. So the first name, the genus, is Elliptochrysis. The second name, the species, is kuwaitinus. So kuwaitinus means from Kuwait. The other one is like a polychaete, which is a spiny worm from the sea, not from the land.
Yes.
Because Venerides kuwaitinus too. They named those animals to Kuwait, the Latin names only. The English name, they can call it whatever they want, depending on the region, depending on the general terminology. So those animals, very close to us, we do a lot of research and we document them. They were named after Kuwait. There's also other animals that live in the desert. The scarab beetle, they were named after Kuwait too, and one of a few again. So this is a piece of information that the scientific name, the Latin name of those animals, they were named after Kuwait, which we are very proud of.
Doctor, just to follow up, is it common to be named after a state?
Yes, it is. It is. So the scientists who discovered those animals, the marine organisms or the land animals, have a decision whether to name it after the country itself, to name it after his family name. A lot of names were named. A lot of animals were named after the person who discovered them, or the country, or they just give it.
Doctor would like to pause here as we'd like to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Please stay with us, dear viewers, as we move on to this quick break, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Hala Kuwait, the family channel on KTV2. And I'm pleased to be still joined with our distinguished guest, Dr. Qusaie Karam, who's a research scientist and has a PhD in marine ecotoxicology. Now, to dive once again into the questions, Doctor, we want to go to the sea urchin, the human relative. Can you explain that, please?
Yes. It's very interesting, this particular organisms, which I have worked closely with and I'm still working with. This organisms, it's not a regular one. It doesn't have eyes, doesn't have hands. Yet it cope with the marine environment. And some estimate, with different type of sea urchins, they estimate that can live to 100 and 200 years.
Amazing.
Amazingly. So the Kuwaiti species is still unknown. They estimated that the Kynometra methi, the black sea urchin, or the rock boring, it bores with the rock or the corals. That's why the name. It can live to 6 to 7 years, but probably since the other relatives can live to 100 to 200 years, this species can probably live for a long time.
As we can see here on the monitor, can you explain that?
Yeah, this is a photo we took with my friend Dr. Mehdi Ulum from Anjifa coast. They're flourishing in Anjifa, means the area is secluded and their food exists there. They've been living there, according to what my father have commented before, since the 60s, since they used to Anjifa there. And this is another species. The difference between the two spines of the first one, this is the third species, the Diadema citosum, the long spine sea urchin, which is very brittle sea urchins. This is the first close-up in Kuwait of those animals, how deep we dive into the camera to document the features, the spines. We never, actually, I was shocked that when I saw those spines, they're banded. And once you move your finger up, they're safe. But once you move your finger down the spine, you can get injured. Actually, they were serrated like this, and along with the spine on the top. On the side too, they're very harmful. That's why we recommend the divers and the beachgoers to stay away from those animals, because they brittle spines means they break easily and they harm the human. So those sea urchins, why they are human relatives?
Yes.
When they analyzed the genome, the genetic map of the purple sea urchin in California, USA, they discovered, or they assessed 23,000 genetic bases. One of the 23,000 bases, 777,000 are related to human. Means there is a human counterpart for such genes. And they discovered that there is 2 diseases in a human. They are found in the sea urchins. The muscle dystrophy and the Huntington disease. So studying those animals, we can find a cure for human ailments, the muscle dystrophy and the nerve-related diseases.
Has there been documented cases where they have?
And the purple sea urchins, the S. parapratus in California, they are studying this one for the finding human cures for human disease, but not for the Kuwaiti species. This is what we aim to collaborate with on the medical aspect, the Kuwait University and Medical College to study this one, hopefully in the future.
Hopefully we can achieve that sooner rather than later. Now, what is the greatest marine animal migration that also happens in Kuwait that you can mention?
I was really amazed by how much we can learn from this migration. They call it the dial vertical migration. Actually, it happens all over the sea, all over the globe, the world. But we know that it happens in Kuwait. What happened is, what we have is the planktons. We have the phytoplanktons, the planet-based planktons, and we have the animal-based planktons. They call them the zooplanktons. Those zooplanktons migrate every day, twice.
Every day, twice?
Every day, every day. When the sun sits from dusk till dawn, they rise from the bottom of the seafloor to the sea surface. Why? To feed, to escape predators. They cannot feed in the morning because there's a lot of predators. They feed at night because there are less predators, and the predators travel to other areas of the sea, stay there. It's been an estimate that they can travel in 1 hour equivalent to a human swimming 50 kilometers or 300 meters.
That's
they can travel in 1 hour, depending the rhythm of traveling, depending on the species, the location.
Are these some of the
Yeah, this is the zooplankton. Zooplankton can be fish eggs, fish larvae, salps, krill, other type of organisms, copepods. They call it the small shrimp-like creatures.
Yes.
They're the biggest and the most available species on Earth, like bacteria on land, on other species. Those copepods and the zooplanktons, they are found in every seas of the world. The temperate, the tropical, the hot, the Arctic. Those in Kuwait, we have identified those species with our colleagues, and they travel and they just ascend once the sun sets to the surface of the sea to feed and to escape predators. And the first light in the dawn, they return back to colder waters to escape predators. And it's in a kind of clandestine rhythm movement as the sun moves from the east to the west and the darkness comes. All the species and the sea, they rise in a rhythm, depending on the species.
All symbiotically.
Symbiotic relationships and rhythmic relationships. And when the sun sits in Kuwait, those species, our zooplanktons, kind of ascend, and the first light they descend too. So in cohesion with the other species, depending on the how deep it is our sea. It's not very deep compared to the oceans, and 20 meters or 100 meters on the Iranian side, or 30 meters. So, but they travel to feed on the phytoplanktons. The phytoplanktons, the planktons that are planet-based, which are primary producers. They photosynthesize from the lights and they produce energy. Those zooplanktons, the copepods, the fish larvae, they travel up to the sea and ascend to feed and return back home every day, back and forth, back and forth. So it's amazing we were like, how did they discover that one back in the World War II and the Sauron and the warships? They discovered that there is 2 masses of objects ascend and descend every day in the deep oceans in World II by the sonar. And when the science kind of excelled, they realized that it's a zooplankton, actually it's a biological species, not the enemy, not other warships or a submarine that ascending and descending. So it's back in the World War II using the sonar and the ships and the and the submarine. So then science developed. Now they collected samples and they saw those cobblepods ascend, and the first the night then descend back. So they can sense it. I don't know how.
Can we experience that here in Kuwait? Have you personally?
Not really. I would like to take a bigger team to detect those with specialized camera. Now with AI, artificial intelligence, you can deploy cameras on the bottom of the sea, and you can record. They have recorded the coral reefs and the coral animals when they lay their eggs, when they release their eggs and sperm when it's the breeding season. So I think it can be done, but in smaller size. Those zooplanktons are smaller than a rice grain, so it's very easy, and they are transparent, as you have seen from the photos. Billions and billions all over the world. They migrate on a daily basis in a clandestine kind of movements in cohesion, depending on how deep is the Ocean, the Arabian Gulf, and the Kuwait territorial waters. So you can see we have real migration, even before people have migrated to Kuwait from different countries. Our country, people are migrating, creatures are migrating in the sea on daily, because it's a long distance for them. And a lot of effort to ascend from the bottom of the seafloor, although they're 20 meters, but it takes, as I compare it to a human who's swimming 50 kilometers. So it's such a long distance for tiny creatures, and non-stop. Once they ascend, they have to ascend. Otherwise, they will not feed. Otherwise, if they change the rhythm and feed in the morning, they will be eaten by other predators, like fish or jellyfish or other predators. So
what a fascinating world it is. Yes,
mashallah. This is one of the creation's top secrets and amazing facts. This is a kind of a biological equilibrium. The species have to feed, species have to descend, other species have to be feed on predator-prey relationship. So it's kind of a cohesion and rhythmic system that they work together, to sustain life, marine life.
Well, Doctor, we'd like to pause there as we move on to transition ourselves now to our report. Dear viewers, of course, as usual, everybody behind the scenes have been working diligently to bring you the best content, and with that, we have prepared this report about hydroponics. Let's watch it together, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, dear viewers, and I'm joined once again with Dr. Qusaie Karam. Now, Doctor, we'll move on to the next subject, which is, what is the brainless marine animal in Kuwait?
Yeah, this is an interesting topic that I was really mesmerized and amazed when I started researching for it during our field investigation. It happened one incident. I was documenting the marine life near the Abraj, in coastal area with Dr. Mahdi, my friend and dear friend. And I was carrying one brittle star, and they call it starfish. It's not a fish, actually. The terminology is wrong. It's a sea star. It's not a fish. So sea star, starfish is a wrong term. It's not a fish, although it's a star, but it's not a fish. So it's the better terminology is a sea star. It's an echinoderm. Means the derm, the skin, is made of echinodes, spines, just like the sea urchin, that one we spoke about it, just like the sea cucumber, the sea star, and we have the brittle star, which their appendages are so brittle they can break. So I was documenting the marine life, and I was carrying one brittle star, and Dr. Mahdi said, "Oh, you cut off its arms. You did harm." So I said, "No, I didn't do that. It did by itself." So it's an escape mechanisms. It amputates one of its arms. It has 5 arms. Once it feels threatened by any predator, and I was the predator, the one who documented.
Yes.
So the arm fall off. So as a predator, whether it's a fish or a human, or whoever wants to eat it, you get distracted by the amputated arm as it moves. So the other animal, the brittle star, can escape. So it amputates the arm. The predator gets busy by looking at the amputated arm, and the animal escape fast and hides beneath the beach rocks or in another area. So
is this some of the...
this is the one that got amputated, actually.
So when it amputates, it's still moving?
It is still moving. It's one of the nature secrets that can regenerates its parts, just like the lizards.
Yeah.
If you amputate the legs, so the humans, the brittle stars can amputate one of its arms.
Yes.
And it's very, very interesting creature, actually. The whole animal starts from the mouth. The first thing that gets built up, one of the organs, is the mouth, which is in the bottom, the oral side. The oral side in the bottom, the up oral side on the top. We see the up oral sides, the mouth in the bottom. So when the creature kind of metamorphoses from the larvae, from the egg to the larvae, the mouth is the first thing that develops.
I see.
So it's close related to the sea urchins because it has what its terms is the radial symmetry. Once you divide it, the right half is similar to the left half, and it's composed of 5 parts, 5 hands, five sections. And this organisms has no brain, just like the jellyfish. The way we term brain is the brain is an organ that we use to think, to visualize, to have an estimate, to
make decisions.
This animal actually doesn't have a brain, but they have what is termed as the photoreceptors.
Okay.
So they don't have eyes, but they have photoreceptors. This is how they can see through the light, and they can sense their surroundings.
So are they running on instincts?
Actually, they can be taught. One of the experiments been conducted abroad. Actually, since they don't have a brain, which they don't have memories.
I see.
Of any experience that they learn. But somehow it's mind-baffling for scientists how they learn from experience. They touch them and feed them with the light and without the light, and when they introduce them to another area, they seem to learn this technique without any brain. So actually, they don't need the organs that the human have to operate in life with the basic cells, the photoreceptors. The whole body is one eye, or the whole body of the brittle stars is considered as an eye because they have the sensors along the nerve ring, which is in the middle of the body, and have 5 lines of nerves along by this how they sense with the photoreceptors. It's so complicated. Network of nerves, tendons and muscles, and how they coordinate it is very mind-boggling.
Well, Doctor, as we are running out of time, so I'd like you to briefly at least tell us what is called the marine fashion model of Kuwait.
Yes, it is interesting title that I made. It's the cuttlefish, the cuttlefish.
Okay.
It's the same family as the octopus and the squids. They call it the cephalopod. Cephalopod means the head is on the foot, but the body is the foot.
Yeah.
So the cuttlefish, they change its colors. This is one of the colors they change. Once they pass an area would have a similar color to its body. Now they do it with what they call it chromatophores.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sack full of pigments.
Okay.
They change the color. Once they pass on an orange corals, they immediately change their color, body color, to orange. This is a black. This is with the fighting. This is another parrotfish which lives with the corals itself and the corals itself. Though this cuttlefish changes its colors, changes its dress every time.
Adapts.
But the thing is, the catch is, they are color blind. They only see in black and white shades. So how they can differentiate if they pass on an orange coral, they change to orange. If they pass on a green area full of plants, marine plants, they change to green without seeing the difference between green and orange and black and light. If they pass an area of coral which is bleached white, they become pale.
Yeah.
But their eyes can see only in 2 colors, black and white. But their whole body, through the chromatophores, the cell sacs full of pigments, they can change. So scientists are amazed how this uncoordination between the eyesight doesn't respond, cannot differentiate between the colors, and this happens. We photographed them in Kubbar and Garo Island. We saw how they changed the colors, but I was shocked that their eyes cannot differentiate between all the colors, just like the human, the spectrum. Only they see in black and white, but the whole body respond differently. So this is amazing.
Is
This
the-
is in Kuwait.
In Kuwait.
In
So
Kuwait happens
is
every
this related with the marine animal that wears pajamas before sleeping?
Yeah, the pajamas. It's,
Yeah.
it's the parrotfish. The parrotfish is also in Kuwait, and a lot of coral reef animals. Once it wants to sleep, take a nap in the evening, it covers itself with a mucus, kind of a blanket. It wears a pajama, you know, a specialized mucus they sell. Because the moray eel, it's kind of a snake-like that hides in the corals, eats the parrotfish. It's one of the favorite foods. So the scientists think that if the parrotfish cover itself with a mucus, a blanket, or wears a pajama, protect itself just like the human protected itself from the cold, from the AC, this prevents the eel, the moray eel, from sensing, smelling the parrotfish. So it's like on a block, it blocks the scent of the parrotfish, so the moray eel cannot come outside, it's then, and feeds on it. Also, it protects it from parasites and bacteria that might attach itself in the evening. So it's one of the amazing that it secretes every day, secretes this mucus and engulf its body with a pajama made of a mucus to hide its scent from the predators, animals, just like the moray eels, and it happens in Kuwait. We didn't see it, but we know it happens because it's been documented elsewhere, so might as well be documented for Kuwaiti organisms.
Well, Doctor, that's very fascinating, and we really thank you for your insight
Appreciate
and
it.
joining
Thank you
us
very
today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, dear viewers, that was Dr. Qusaie Karam, who is a research scientist and has a PhD in marine ecotoxicology. And of course, with that, dear viewers, we end this episode. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did, and we thank you for spending your time with us and keeping us company. Until next time, stay safe and goodbye.